Hello to all my booty seekers and cheek chasers. This is the Carpe Natem Podcast. I'm your host, Nate De La Hoya-Reynoso, and I am so grateful you are listening to this episode. If you're new here, you should know that I believe that my purpose is to uplift, inspire, and educate others to communicate masterfully so that they can better understand themselves and the world around them. I've spent years in the personal development and transformational technology space, and I want to share with you the wisdom that was passed down to me from giants in the industry. So if you're on a journey of self-mastery, just like me, looking to make dreams a reality and willing to be a leader for your family and community, then join me in seizing the butt cheeks of life and giving them a big ol' squeeze. Let's jump into the show. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Carpe Natem Podcast. I'm making this episode 50, and boy, oh boy, I can't believe we made it all the way to 50. By myself, I was only able to make 4 episodes. I edited them myself, and it took forever to get them recorded, to get them edited, to post them. I would be nothing without my team and the people that I work with. Shout out to Gabriel, who is my editor, an amazing editor. I just want to say thank you, buddy, for helping me get this podcast off the ground. And we are 50 episodes deep. I have gotten such an amazing opportunity to interview and talk to comedians, people who are working on their passions, athletes, doctors, psychic mediums, all these amazing, great people. And it's insane to say out loud because I really didn't know what to expect when I first started this. I had a message to share, and my intention is to uplift, inspire, and motivate. But how much this podcast has helped me is probably the greatest gift that I have or have ever gotten, or one of the greatest gifts that I've ever gotten. For those of you who are listening, I appreciate every second that you spend with me. I've got to give a shout out to my mom, to a lot of other people who have come up to me and say that they frequently listen to the podcast. Shout out to Janessa, who gave me compliments on it. Shout out to my boy Adrian, who said his first podcast was mine. Y'all have helped me out more than you will know, because if I'm being honest, man, today I'm sad, and I don't know why I'm so sad. There's just days where you wake up and you can do all these things to make your head strong, your mental state strong. A lot of this hustle culture and a lot of this business type culture where everyone's an entrepreneur and everyone's doing these things, it's almost an unspoken rule where you have to kind of only feel good and it has to always be positive. And that's kind of the message that I post and kind of talk about a lot too, where we focus on the good things. And I do my best to. I do my best to journal. I do my best to create healthy habits, stick to them, and maintain myself. But there are just days where I don't feel good. And this is one of them. And I think that in these states of vulnerability is the best time to express my thoughts and to express the feelings I'm having. It could be a number of things. It could just be the way that the chemicals in my brain are, and that's why I'm feeling like this. But don't think that just because somebody is super positive, super happy all the time, that they are happy all the time. There are just times where it escapes. I am a human who feels a full range of emotion, and I'm sure if you're listening to this, you are too. So give yourself the grace that I've been denying myself to feel these bad emotions. Give yourself the opportunity to feel sad if you have to feel sad. You don't have to feel happy all the time. To get a rainbow, you have to stand in the rain. If you want to know how good life can be, you have to know what the other side feels like. And I'm not wishing bad upon anybody. I just know, and I can guarantee that those who have gone through trauma, who've gone through any problem, the loss of a loved one, the feeling of disappointment, the feeling of loss, the feeling of grief, I mean, they're real. And even now, I feel like I have nothing to complain about. Yet, I feel so upset, to the point where I'm holding back tears recording this. And again, I'm still trying to figure out what in my brain is making me feel like this. And I hope that those who are listening to this can take from some of my actions, some of my lessons, and apply them to their life and hopefully get them out of their rut. Because I would not wish this upon any of my worst enemies. to have to feel like this. And for no reason, too. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there's something that's bothering me that I'm not addressing. But I'm so bad at sitting with my own emotions that I will do whatever I can to feel happy, to feel motivated, to feel positive. And I'll push down those other emotions and they bottle up. And when they're released, it's like a dam breaking. Everything is flooded. And maybe that's what I'm experiencing right now. I've felt this before. I've felt these lows and they pass. And that's the good part about it, because these feelings are temporary. All feelings are temporary. And you get to choose which of the feelings that you are experiencing. Like even now, I'm just going back and forth from feeling incredibly sad to giggly and happy. And I'm trying to make sense of it. And hopefully here, getting my thoughts out and being able to kind of work my thoughts out by talking out loud, by talking to you. I thank you for listening. I hope one day that we have the privilege of doing this face to face, because I want to know what makes you smile. And I also want to know what makes you sad. I want to know what brings you the most joy. What's the most pain you've ever felt? Why would you want to know something like that? Why would you focus on something so negative? It's not to focus on, but there is something to be grateful about if you are able to feel these things. As horrible as this feeling is, I am grateful that I'm experiencing it to a degree, because I know that when I look back on a better day, I can be more grateful for that experience because of the feeling I'm having now. If you're someone that struggles like me to sit with their emotion and really feel what they're going through, I highly suggest giving yourself permission. Give yourself verbal permission to feel sad. If you can't give yourself permission, have someone else give you permission. It's silly. It sounds dumb. But I was feeling so upset about being upset. And I had 2 amazing women tell me that I have the power to allow myself to feel these feelings and that there is no shame in these feelings. Every emotion is valid. Every emotion serves a purpose. And we want to work towards having as many great days as we can. We want to mitigate and limit how often we feel like this. That's my goal, at least. I'm thinking of all the people that have supported me over the last year, and I want nothing more than to make the people that I love the most proud. Is that a selfish thought? I want to show them that by doing these things, by living my best life, by helping others, that I'll make them proud, that they know me, that they're related to me, that they've interacted with me. The last 3 years for me have been so incredible in the amount of growth and stability that I've gotten, that I've earned, that I worked for. Because if I look at everything that I have right now, I live in a beautiful home with a very loving and supporting wife and a very cute dog. I know people out there where that's their greatest dream to have. And here I am living it, and here I am feeling sad. And I notice that I beat myself up for just being real, for being human. If I feel these feelings, I am within my right to feel them. I have had people, parental figures, guardians, teachers, who have told me that I'm wrong for feeling sad. It's very common to get called something negative, like a pussy or some homophobic slur, for feeling sad, for showing vulnerability, showing tears. One of my biggest fears for sure would be I would never be afraid to cry on a stage. But there is a part of me that doesn't want to show other people that I'm crying. I don't want to burden others or try to gain some sort of sympathy love because woe is me. But even that mindset, it's like, I'm sure there are people who are listening who have probably the same thought process, who don't allow themselves to feel what they're feeling. Give yourself permission to. I am learning and doing my best to give myself permission to feel these feelings, whether they are negative or whether they are upsetting. They're my emotions. It's my spectrum. And if I'm able to feel this deeply, it means I'm human. I got on this podcast because I haven't recorded a solo episode in a while. And again, I thought that the best idea to kind of go and fix my head wherever it's at would be to talk it out. I journal. I think out loud. I still think it's the best to be able to have someone that you can talk to honestly with, who knows you, who can really give you feedback that you can use that'll make you better. Today, I felt so sad and I was hiding it and I was unable to hide it. I got called out by some amazing people who saw that I wasn't being myself and asked me what was wrong. I talked to my mom today. I told her how much I missed her, how much I miss my family back home, and how silly I feel for being in such an amazing place of privilege and being upset. It seems counterintuitive, but that's just how my brain is today. If your brain gets like this sometimes, just know that you're not alone. It's okay to have these kinds of days. The best thing that we can do is just get through them. And we hope and then we pray that tomorrow is better. On these days, it's probably the most important to stick to your commitments, to do things that you know will benefit you tomorrow. I don't want to work out today. Out of all days, I don't want to work out. I'm going to go work out. If you don't feel like eating, please eat. Please make sure that you're still taking care of yourself. And if you need a rest day, please rest. For little habits that we've been building on, we want to make sure that we're maintaining them. And this is more of a reminder for myself than it is for you. But on these days, this is where I believe the most amount of resilience gets built. Because no matter what, I'm going to go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow. And whatever I do tomorrow is the problem for future Nate. But what I'm doing today is just making sure I get through. And for some people, that's really hard. And I commend you for doing it. And if I can give that same love and admiration to others, why is it so hard to give it to myself? I'm so confident, borderline cocky. God knows that I have this God complex. And here I am, feeling like I'm having like a pity party for myself. But really, it's whatever gets me through the day. I am doing whatever I can to get through today. Because that's all I can do. That's all I can do every day. Today might be harder than others, but it's just a day. Out of 365, times that by 28, it's just one. And what's really making me feel excited or hopeful is the promise of tomorrow won't be like this. That this wave will pass. And I hope it passes for you. It's wishful thinking to hope that we never feel like this ever. But it's impossible because the bad and the good come together. There are moments where we will experience great tragedies. There will be moments where we experience great reward, fulfillment, peace. They go hand in hand. I know how I'm feeling now is down and kind of incredibly depressive. Call it what it is. But I'm not going to remember this day as that. I'm going to choose to remember this day as a day that my mind needed a rest. My brain needed a rest. My soul needs a hug. And I'm going to remember it fondly because they do not come often. And I'm so blessed to not have days like this on an ongoing basis. But they're frequent enough that I know that I recognize them when they do come up. And this is just a day. Everyone's allowed to have a day. I'm allowed to have a day. I'm allowed to feel what I'm feeling. And I'll get through it. I'm confident in that feeling. It's my belief in that feeling that I know things will get better that help me get through the day. Do you believe that whatever you're going through, you will get through? I think so. I have something written on my whiteboard. It's been there all month. It says, what you go through, you grow through. And this is just another day that is testing my capability to grow. It's going to be such a stark contrast to my outro that was recorded when I was feeling much better and in a much more manic mood. I hope that if there is somebody that's feeling like I'm feeling and that they're listening, I hope that you know that you're not alone, that this is only temporary, and if you just make it to the next day, you will grow through what you go through. You will become better. You will be able to help others in the same way I hope I'm helping you. I am incredibly grateful to my listeners. I am ecstatic that you have spent some time with me today. If it's on your morning routine, if it's on your lunch break, however you choose to listen to me. I thank you. I thank you so much. This conversation, if it doesn't help you, it's helped me. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable, to be honest, to show you that I am human just like you. We all go through types of days that will make us feel like there's something heavy on our chest. And no matter what we do, it feels like that weight doesn't get lighter, but just get to the next day. Just like I'm going to get to the next day. And we will both see better times. We will both make it. And I can't wait to see you on the other side, smiling, happy, with the ability to look back on a day like this. And we both can say that we are grateful for the experience. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you all on the next episode. Thank you so much for everyone who's helped us get to 50 episodes, and I hope by the time that this gets recorded, we're over 1,000 downloads. It's growing steadily. Y'all are the ones that make that possible, and I couldn't feel more love than I do now in this moment. Until next time, this is Nate De La Hoya-Reynoso, signing off. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Carpe Natem Podcast. If you love this episode, please consider leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Music or iTunes. It takes 30 seconds for you, but for us, it helps spread positivity to more people during these chaotic times. It helps build a community, and it makes me smile from ear to ear. Speaking of community, we have a Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Carpe Natem. Just answer the 3 questions to get access to some extra motivation and inspiration for your timeline. If you would like to support this podcast, screenshot this episode and share this to your story. Tag me at Carpe Natem 114. That's going to be my handle across all platforms, including TikTok, if you'd like to give me a follow. If you haven't already, please rate us and subscribe on Spotify or anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. And lastly, you can find all episodes, linked to resources, and opportunities for coaching and mentoring from me at carpenatem114.com. I cannot thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. You are all rock stars taking the necessary steps to be your best self, willing to do whatever it takes, and ready to grab life by the butt cheeks. So until next time, this is Nate De La Hoya-Reynoso signing off.